has been one of my best close, good friends for so many years. And I think it was about time that we talked some film with him. Keith, give me a little bit of your background, if you can, just as a general overview of how you got involved in film in Buffalo.
A weird, unique way of how I got involved. I was actually a referee for Queen City Roller Girls, and we were asked to be a part of a video music shoot. And so we showed up, and that's when I met actually a few other producers or directors within the local area, and some were actually scouts for locations. And just so happened, they asked if I had a location at one time, and I said yeah, and it ended up being my house for the movie Emily.
You were more behind the camera. Can you name some of the bigger projects you've done?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've like when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle was here, I was actually a production assistant and worked overnights on that for a little over 2 weeks. I've worked as producer, I've worked as assistant directors. I've even shot my own film, so as a director. Good times never come. So I've done a lot of different things, but I do like the behind the scenes. I like doing more the lighting and the stage setup and the prepping and getting those images we're looking to get done. And I like to make that happen. That's like magic.
I think a lot of what we've done together has been pretty ambitious. I think you and I and the whole team that we work with really stepped up our game on Fang. I think your relationship with me really flourished into a closer friendship as a result of doing that film. And what did you do on that project? Can you give me a little overview so the people that could understand what that entailed?
I ran all the power. I ran all the lighting, did a lot of the setups. Actually prepped a lot of the areas for when we went to shoot, because God knows you love blood, and we got to make sure blood didn't get everywhere. Unfortunately, it still does. But no, I mean, a lot of work. It's setting up one scene and then setting up another scene and getting things ready and ensuring that our cast and crew and makeup artists and everybody's all in line. It's just a tough job.
We have really done some very epic storytelling. You started with me on Star, but a lot of people don't know you actually did an acting gig on Grimm Becoming. You were in the funeral scene, is that right?
That is correct, yeah. That's actually when I first met you and Chris Burns. It was just I saw the post and I signed up and showed up.
What inspires you, or what makes you interested in producing in a project?
In all reality, it's everything combined. One, I want to know I'm working with a good group of people. If I'm going to be there working and producing and putting my name out there, I want to know the people I'm working with are a good class of people and they have the good backgrounds, or even if it's just local people that, like local talent or local little independent film. You want to know the people, you want to know their character, and definitely the story. The story has to have something about it, some kind of magic. And if it doesn't have that, you kind of just like going, yeah, okay, I don't care who's on the film. If it doesn't inspire you, it doesn't intrigue you, it doesn't suck you in, you just sit there going, it's like a lame duck. Why am I going to sit there and not enjoy being behind the scenes and really feel my heart into that film? So,
yeah, I would, I'd have to say you're a very hardworking individual, and I don't think a lot of people know the production element of making film in Buffalo. I think there's a lot of, talking about cast and things like that, but I don't think there's a lot of talk about the crew. And I think a lot of that is because so many people want to act in Buffalo, there's not enough crew.
When you get the crew, it's totally different. The work, the mentality, the safety aspect of everything, the understanding how to set stuff up, how to move it, knowing the lingo, the call signs, knowing the people in the area you're working in. That's what a lot of people, I think they take for granted.
Were you ever on a project where a set was shut down completely because things like what we were experiencing today in the Valley? And for those that don't know, the Valley is in the Horrific Evil Monsters. The first shoot date was actually, we were all set up, ready to go, and then we had to cancel it after we were already there and everything was set up because we lost some generators and power. But I'm curious, have you ever been on a set that a similar situation like that had been, being so remote?
Not to the full extent that we had to shut down that day, but I've been on sets where they're like, okay, well, we can't do this scene, so we're going to move on to another scene.
To get down into the Valley, as we're calling it, was not a very easy task. You either had to go down a very long ladder down a ravine, or you had to walk like almost a half a mile around to get to where we were shooting. Remember that?
Oh yeah. And even on a day like that, we had actually, because of this type of work it is, we actually had somebody get heat exhaustion. So
that's right.
That becomes, again, the safety thing. So, and that's why we always go to set with a medic. But it's a lot of work. People don't understand when you have to rig up that lighting or haul that equipment, and it's not light. It is not light.
Well, that jib,
and it's not easy.
That jib alone. Remember bringing that freaking bag down there? That jib, that huge ass jib bag.
God.
That was a set though. That first set, man, or that first day in that location. The location's beautiful, incredible. It's epic feeling, but it was too much on the crew that we had that day. You post so many Christmas trees. What's the deal with the Christmas trees? We want to know.
All right. Here's the thing. The first Christmas tree that goes up when I moved in here is I actually put it up on usually October 28th for the 29th. It gets fully decorated on 20th. That's because that was my mom's birthday. So that's why the first tree goes up. And then it just went from there. I got another tree. I'm like, all right, cool. Put that one up. I got it for free. So I used to have then 2 trees. But then everybody's like, well, you got 2 trees. You want another tree? I'm like, sure, I'll take another tree. So then I started putting up a tree for each one of my kids, my grandkids, my dog, good old Rocky, who turned 5 today, So, and then I started making themes out of them. So like now I got 2 nutcracker trees. I got my main tree. And it just, the thing about the trees is I can turn off all my lights and just leave on the Christmas lights. And my house is, like everybody said, they probably can see your house from space with all the Christmas trees you got going. And the thing is, I love the trees because it's got this warm, comfy feeling that kind of reminds you of the peace and prosperity that we've made. And we're coming into like celebrating not just the year, but I mean, I know New Year's is like, hey, we're celebrating going into a new year. To me, it's celebrating what we've done as friends, family, I mean, a Christmas tree, like lights, is like decorating everything else. It's intricate, just like doing film work. So trying to set up, it's kind of like, it gives you a creative idea because you don't want to do everything the same all the time. So you got to put a little creativity in there, and it's fun. It just, to me, it's, people come over just to see my Christmas trees. I mean, I actually, if I charge people to see my Christmas trees, I think they're walking into Winter Wonderland. I could probably make a fortune on tours.
Well, what's the number at this year? What is your number?
I'm gonna go for 16 this year.
You're going six. You're going 16.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a friend of mine's got a 9-foot Christmas tree that I'm gonna put up in my foyer this year. So.
Do you think you'll keep growing that? Do you think you'll keep doing the Christmas trees more and more?
Oh yeah. As long as I got the space, I don't want to be to a point where I can't walk around.
It's just a forest.
It'll be a forest. But I'm actually thinking about planting 3 pine trees out near the corner of my property and start decorating those. Put some lights on those and stuff.
Yeah, it surprises me your house isn't more festive on the outside versus the inside, with all the stuff.
Oh, it will be this year.
Well, that's great, man. So you're going for 16. I'm going to hold you to that now. You and I talk a lot, so I'm going to hold you to that. All right.
Definitely.
Let's see here. What we got? What's been the most fun being on set? What was been the moment that it stands out to you?
Oh my God!
And it doesn't have to just be from our film. I mean, any film in general that you ever worked on. What was the moment that stood out to you?
I mean, each film has a moment. There's not just one thing. I mean, because each film you're on is different. It's unique in its own thing. And there's so many things that just, you get excited about. I mean, when I was doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, watching the cars explode up on the 33. How many people get to see our throughway system shut down here and see what it took to light that? I mean, my God, it was exhilarating, And then just even like us, even though it was a lot of work down in that valley, man, you know what? When we were down there, you just knew the shots were going to be right, and people are going to love it when they see them come out. That scene there, I mean, the fog, everything that what we had to do there, and then you go to Fang. Like even Fang was fantastic because, you know, people don't realize like the car scene with the fog, and it was tough getting all that fog to roll. And it was like, come on, don't go to the ground, come on, come back up, and then you had to fill up the car with the bloody handprint. Just
oh yeah, people don't know you had this industrial-sized fog machine, and the fog machine was put in the car, right?
It was in the car. And I had to control the button as well as get ready to put the bloody handprint.
yeah. Oh God, man, I remember that.
But I mean, that was great. I mean, just the idea, and that's what made that movie pop for me. Right, it was that right there. It was that one scene alone was pretty impressive. And then, you know, you get the right talent watching Gregory Blair up there. Oh my God. And it just, you know, come out. It's just expression. You just like, you got goosebumps even on set, and you know it's fake. You know, you're watching this. You're like, okay, this is not gonna look like, it's not even cinematography at that moment. You're watching it live. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm at a play almost. Like, it was fantastic.
Yeah. It's always interesting creating something with you. I'm not sure how many people have heard the stories now, because I feel like I've asked plenty of cast members when I've done interviews or been on interviews with people. And that is the simple fact of Fang's shooting schedule. Fang's shooting schedule was like from 12 o'clock in the afternoon to till about like 3 to 6 a.m. some days.
Oh, we saw the sunrise come up when we were going to bed.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what we saw, the sun come up, and I just find that so crazy. Now, the other thing people may not make the connection of is you play a wolf, or a stunt wolf, I should say, to be correct.
Yeah.
In Fang, and you also play it in the Riffig Eel Monsters. Yeah. Yes. So my question is, there are two different wolves in the films. I don't want to give too much away with that, but it was two different wolves. Talk about what the outfit was for Fang versus the outfit for for the Riffig Eel Monsters.
Well, originally I wasn't supposed to play the wolf, but unfortunately, come to find out, that mask, it's very, very tough to breathe in that mask that we had on Fang. That one there was very heavy, and it was, you just got claustrophobic in almost. And I don't blame our actress for going, nope. But it worked out in our favor because, well, even though it was a female that turned into a wolf, I ended up having to wear the dress, the stockings, and everything else. And oh yeah, with the wolf costume. So that was fun trying to keep that up there. You know, it was unique. And then the rubber gloves on top of it, where like your hands start sweating in there. It's just like.
Yeah.
But it worked out good because when you looked at the actress and then you looked at my height, the height difference made it more practical. Yeah. So it gave that illusion of you became a bigger creature.
We both experience similarities in things. And one of the things that we experience is PTSD. You have different reasons, I have different reasons, but I'm curious to know, do you find that it helps you control it? Because that's something I find. I find that filmmaking helps me control and keep it in check, in a sense.
Yes. Just like when I do my Christmas trees, that kind of helps with PTSD. Yes, the PTSD, what people don't understand is the more you get time to think and do nothing, the more your anxiety kicks up. But when you're on film, you're right. It does help control, because what you're doing is you're taking all that pent-up anxiety, all that energy, anything that you got going on, all your stresses, and you just dump it right into the movie because you're doing the work. You're running around, you're getting physical activity, you're doing mental activity, you're engaging with people, you're socializing with people, you're using creative parts of your mind, you're constantly on the move, and again, you got a big social support group right there too, which is nice.
Yeah. It's good to play in a group setting, so to speak, you know?
Yes, definitely. That's why I give all you guys that do the editing kudos, man, because I couldn't sit there and go through it all day long. Like, okay, I'd lose my mind.
And you know, that's sometimes you do. You get to a point where you take your mouse, like this one right here. Now mine's a carpal tunnel mouse because as an editor, you will find that using a normal mouse does not work with your hand like this all day. It needs to be in the right position, I should say, so that it does not create carpal tunnel. And I found that out the hard way. But that's why I have this weird looking mouse. Look at that. Because a mouse is normally like this. This is how it is. Isn't that crazy?